Started. I have a sneaky suspicion that we're going to have plenty of activity today, and we're probably going to run over, and that's all right. Folks, more than welcome to depart. You know, we always try and keep these things pretty tight around the 30 minutes, but when there's a topic that people are interested in and there's discussion going on, we got no problem sticking around and making sure everybody gets an opportunity to participate. So let's go ahead and kick it off. We've got two guests with us today. So Shane and I are going to probably try and keep it short. You guys don't want to hear us talk. You get to hear us talk all the time. But we have our regular guest, Emma, with us from Remodel Social. So she's going to give us some more tips, Facebook or social media tips to keep us on top of our social media game. And then this week we've got Mike Abel back as well. And there's a topic this week that we wanted to discuss. It came up last week or the week before, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Surveillance equipment, recording equipment, and things like that in listings, whether you're coming in as the buyer's agent and showing people or you are the listing agent, and what that may all entail. And I got a sneaky suspicion that's going to be a discussion with a lot of participants.
A hot button.
Based on my discussion with agents in the past. So let's go ahead and kick it off here real quick. Usually on a day like this, I'd probably forego rates because they've been hanging in there pretty stable. But we've actually seen a little bit of move in rates here this past week. And so I just want to go through rates real quick and let you guys know where they're at, because the main reason we do what we do is to keep you guys informed and in the know. So if you go out to our website, you know where it's at, loangeeks.com, click on any one of the links that'll get you into our interest rate screen. These rates are updated literally daily by me. And let's see here. I need to get you over to the rates screen. Come on. There we go. Computer's a little slow this morning. Let's hit these real quick. As you guys recall, we've probably been hanging right at the 2.5 to 2.8, 2.625 on the 15-year fixed conventional. We just dropped down below that. We just kind of hit a new level of low that we haven't seen since COVID hit. And we're now at 2.375 on a 15-year fixed. I know, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It truly is like, wow, it's mind-blowing. 2.3, let me repeat that, 2.375% at par on a conventional. And these are our purchase rates. We're running refinance specials that based on your FICO scores and your LTV, you could actually refinance lower than that potentially. On the 30-year fixed conventional, we are now at 2.875% at par. On the 30-year fixed govies, on the FHA, we're sitting at 2.75, and that's at par, guys. If you remember, there had been a bunch of premium pricing built in. Those were above the conventional 30-year fixed, and there was premium pricing built in the form of discount points. That's gone now. I think everybody's feeling good again all of a sudden. I don't know why, but everybody thinks maybe COVID's not as big of a deal, and people aren't going to default on their mortgages anymore. And so now they're priced very competitively again on these government loans, where typically much lower down payment, less skin in the game, credit issues potentially over your conventionals. The VA's slightly higher. These can vary from time to time. Usually they kind of move in lockstep, but again, 2.875 and no points on that, whereas that had been running with upwards of a half a point to a point. And then last but not least, look where our jumbos have come down to. Our jumbos are under 3 points to buy that down. But if you remember, those went away when COVID hit. You couldn't get a jumbo for about 2 weeks. So just want to let you guys know where we're at on these. We've hit kind of a new low. What does that mean? Are we just dipping in and then we're going to come back up and bounce around? Or is this breaking a level and we're going to see more movement down? I don't know. I will keep you guys informed though. So let me turn this thing over to Shane so we can keep moving here. But
Yeah,
wow, right?
I heard predictions into the 1% for next year. Now, whether that's true or not, who the heck knows? But I'm like, that's,
Refinance again.
yeah, completely insane. But it is what it is. But hey, anyways, I want to say hi to everybody today. 2 attorneys in 2 weeks. What are the odds, right? Man,
That's
who's
terrible.
coming on next week? Oh, wait, it's Black Friday next week. And the stores aren't going to be open, right? Or some of them are, but most of it's not. Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
Now, as long as Ducey doesn't go crazy, it'll be open still.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a couple quick things I want to share real fast, and we'll turn over to Emma, and we'll get to Mike and the meat and potatoes of what we're doing today with the surveillance stuff. But wanted to kind of share with you some of this you've seen, but I'm going to show you something else too. For those that haven't seen the market updates, this is what they are. This is our Altos reports. They come out on Wednesdays to agents that want them. Let me know if we can get you hooked up for this. Any city, any zip code in Arizona. Just pulled up Phoenix just because it's at the center of everything here. But median list prices almost at 450, which is getting up there pretty good. And inventory, of course, which you can see down here, it's doing what it's doing. But everything seems to, of course, be on the decline slightly, not in a big way, but I'll show you that on another little sheet I've made up here too. But if you like these reports, I mean, it's going to show you, it's all last week. It's going to show you last week in Phoenix. It's always a week behind because it tabulates, and then we get out the new reports and away we go. But it's going to show you, what came on the market, what's sold, all that good stuff is here. But what I've done with these reports, I've gone a little step further with these, and some of you get this, and this list is actually growing pretty good. It is the Valley Stats that I've put together, this one. And what really jumped out to me, and I put these together when I get these reports on Monday mornings, I put this together first thing Monday mornings and get it out to the agents on the distribution list, which is growing, which is awesome. I mean, it's a real cool one-page look, see what's going on around the Valley. And then, of course, in the second home destinations up north and, Flag and everything around that way too. What really jumped out at me this week is Queen Creek, median list price of 570. That to me is wild in every way. I've never seen it that high. I mean, Gilbert's sitting at 530 right now, approximately. Fountain Hill's back over 1 million. It's really kind of, when you look at these things together like this, it really paints a picture. I mean, you can really see divisions in the valley, West Valley to Southeast Valley and Scottsdale. You can really see where some division lines are made and how inventory is growing in Sun City and Surprise, but really nowhere else. I mean, very little, but even this is not that much. I mean, 17 or 11, mostly on the decline, as you can see, and even up north the same way. But again, no big gains or losses up there, really. Prices insane up north too. I mean, it is what it is. You got Pine Top at 650 right now, and Prescott almost 700,000. That's considerable. Interesting stuff to be gleaned from this little guy, though. If you'd like it, let me know. I'd be more than happy to send it to you, add you to the list. There's, I like getting this stuff out, and it's a nice little cheat sheet. If you've got buyers out there looking, you might want to be able to direct them somewhere else where maybe prices are on the decline. I've been able to notice trends and mark those, and there's some cool stuff to be pulled out of this. I love this kind of stuff, so I enjoy doing it. So keep me posted. Let me know. I like to share it on Fridays. I think I shared it yesterday too, if I remember correctly. But
hey, real quick, Shane,
yeah.
just as a comment for the agents there regarding those numbers, because a lot of times people can get confused on that. The difference between median and average, I'd like to point that out to people.
Yes.
A lot of times people will confuse median with average. It is anything but average. What median means is half above and half below. It is the one in the middle. And so that may not be it's not indicative of appreciation per se. what it can mean is the lower end of the price scale, there is no inventory there. It's all been gobbled up. And so you've got homes selling, not an individual home is selling at a higher price, but the homes that are being sold are in higher price ranges potentially. So just kind of want to point that out. It's a subtle difference, but it's a meaningful difference.
It is.
There just may be no inventory down in the lower price tiers simply because those have been gobbled up and there's very few of them.
Yeah.
So,
And absolutely. And I do want to point out too, I mean, these are based on 7-day averages
yeah.
a week. So they're very volatile. I mean, if stuff sells way high, it's going to, you know, it's going to push things up or down depending on where things sell. So it's a very volatile list, but it's a reference tool is all it is. It really is. So take a look at that. If you'd like to get this thing, just let me know. Drop me a line. I'd be more than happy to add you to the list. I think we're going to turn it right over to Emma and let Emma do her magic here, and then we'll get Mike going. So Emma, it's all yours.
Great. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. I think at this point, everyone probably knows who I am, but if not, if you missed it somehow, my name is Emma. I am one of the co-founders of a service called Remodel Social, and we provide Facebook posts to Arizona real estate agents that are local and personalized to you. So if you are sick of coming up with Facebook post ideas, let me know. And then today I am just going to share with you a couple of things that have been going around, and I just want you guys to have good information. And I keep seeing this stuff pop up. People ask me about it. This is probably the most common question I get from agents, actually. They see this going around and they tell me, you know, oh, is there a way to bypass the Facebook algorithm? Does this thing work if I copy paste it? Does it fix my news feed? It does not, guys. This is nothing. This is just going to show up like any other post on your Facebook. It doesn't have any magical powers, just like all of your other posts don't have magical powers. So just so you guys know, when you see this going around, you can safely ignore it. It does not do anything. There is a way to change your newsfeed preferences. So if you are angry about your newsfeed, if you think you're only seeing these 25 people or something like that, you can go into your newsfeed preferences. That's a thing I've gone over before, but you can reach out to me if you want help with that. But yeah, just so you guys know, this post does nothing. So don't worry about copy pasting it when it comes across your timeline. It's nothing, I promise. And then also, for the holiday season, there's a new one that's been going around called the Secret Sister Gift Exchange. This says something about, you know, oh, you send a $10 gift to someone and then you get 6 to 36 gifts in return. I'm sure that Kirk, who is a numbers guy, can tell you that doesn't work out. That's not math. You can't send one thing and get 36 things. That's like classic pyramid scheme, I think.
Oh, that's a 1980s chain letter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, literally. I think it was the Postal Service came out and said, you know, mathematically, like, this doesn't work, guys. So yeah, so this is just another one, holiday themed. I've been seeing it go around again. I think it originally popped up in like 2015, but it is still going and it regains power every holiday season. So just watch out for that one too. I mean, you can totally do this one. A lot of people do this, and I think it's because the buy-in is so small and the risk is so low, right? Like the worst that's going to happen is you're going to send someone something for $10 and they're going to get it. So if you wanted to do that, you can, but please don't expect 6 to 36 gifts in return, because that's not how that works. Okay, so yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Just a couple of things to watch out for that I've seen going around and that I know are misleading. So now you have that information.
That's awesome.
Speaking of magical posts, obviously that one you said it's not magical to grow your feed or anything, but are there magical things you can post to shrink your feed? I.e., what's the deal with shadow banning? Do they like shadow? Is that a real thing?
Yeah.
You
So
post some stuff that they don't like over in the ivory tower at Facebook, and the next the next thing you know, like nobody sees your feed. They put you in, throw a dunce cap on you and put you in the corner on
yeah,
social media.
If you are violating like the Facebook terms, there is a chance that your reach will go down and down and down. That's more specifically a thing on Instagram, but I have seen it happen on Facebook too. Facebook has an AI right now that is patrolling for misinformation. So there's a lot of stuff that gets flagged that's not real. I think they're saying it's like 90% accurate or something. I think that's a little bit optimistic. But yeah, so if you are throwing out stuff and it's getting flagged by either their algorithm or if people are flagging you, if they're reporting your posts, then that will probably hurt your overall reach. And there's really no way to know that other than you kind of noticing that your engagement and stuff is going down. And if you do notice that, then just try to post something super engaging and it'll bring it back up. The things that always work: dog pictures, family photos, anything like that. Anything that your friends and family are gonna be like, oh wow, and everyone's gonna engage with, that stuff will drag it back up. So it's not like you're in Facebook jail and you're done forever. It's just kind of a, if they think that your account is propagating stuff that is not, good with their terms, then yeah, you're not gonna be seen a lot.
Okay, I thought I was just paranoid. Good to know.
Yeah.
I have to show you one quick thing, and I'm going to show you a magical Facebook post. I learned this from Facebook on Saturday, and it was so magical that I actually bought this, and it's coming to my house on Wednesday.
I
It's
keep
pie
doing
cake.
that too.
Happy
Oh,
Thanksgiving, everyone, right?
the pie cake.
Yeah, I've been dreaming about this since I saw it on Saturday on Facebook.
I'm gonna need pictures of it. Like when you get it, cut a cross section like that, and then I want to compare it to this image.
Oh, it's not going to look like that. Trust me.
No, it's going to have my face in it.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's pecan pie on the bottom.
Pecan, pumpkin, spice cake, apple pie filling, cinnamon buttercream frosted. This is like magic. I've been drooling over this thing since I saw it on Saturday. So I just had to share. But this was a magical Facebook post for me because all of a sudden it's a whole website with desserts. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. So happy holidays, right?
Woo,
Targeting. I
that's
guess.
awesome.
Anyway.
Hey, Mike, how are you going to follow that?
I don't know. I just I'll make
Pie
something
cake.
up. No. I like the Facebook thing too, because yes, Kurt, I can say from experience, it does. Me and a couple of my friends, we were monitoring it for about 6 months because of the election, everything that we both post about, a lot of similar stuff. He's very libertarian. And we noticed that amongst our group of friends that we were correlating with, all of our shares started going way down, that they were being throttled next to nothing. Nothing he was posting was showing up on mine or anybody else's feeds. Same thing back and forth, which got us to question of whose opinion does Facebook say is meets their standard or not. So I can say that I never use Facebook for business anyway, so I no longer have it. Delete. But it does happen. So you do have to, if you're using it for business, which is great for business, listen to what Emma says, because she's right. You have to post things right. You have to make sure you stay out of those arenas. It will help you get business, but depending on me, it's my attorney streak in me that I get mad at anybody that attacks free speech or anything like that. So just my soap. So how is everybody today? Everybody good? Those of you I see you say, okay, fine. Those of you who know in class, my classes know I like interaction. I like when we talk. So I want you to ask questions. I want you to give me, different things you have questions about, whether it deals with the topic that was on the class for today or anything. I really don't care. I do know that security cameras and filming within the realm of real estate, what you guys do, it has become a super hot topic. And a lot of discussions going on between NAR and associations, everything, of the ethics of it. Now, what is ethical or not with it? Is it legal or not? I can answer the first part right off the bat, legality. Yes, it's legal. You are in my house. I can film you. I can listen to you. I can watch you. I can do whatever I want, because To have a right of privacy, you have to have an expectation of a right of privacy. What that means is you have to have a realistic expectation that I can go here and no one's looking at me. I have an expectation of privacy right now because I'm in my cabin. No one should be filming me without permission, you guys. Yay, Kirk. Nobody should be looking at me. If I go outside in my yard, there is no such thing as an expectation of privacy because people can see me. You know, it's like when I'm driving down the road, if you don't know it right now, if you go out of your house right now and you start driving and you go on a 25-mile drive and maybe go somewhere downtown Scottsdale for dinner, there's a 90% chance or better that a police officer can pick up the cameras that are installed on almost every light pole now and everything and follow you the entire way there. People say the government shouldn't be doing that. You're right. I don't believe the government should be. However, do they have a right to do that? They have the same right to do that as somebody filming you when you walk into their house, because you have no expectation of privacy because you are out in the general public. That's the thing you always have to analyze when you're looking at, is your privacy being breached when somebody's watching you or anything. There's a lot of cases where, you know, celebrities get their photos taken. They say, you know, yeah, it's my privacy. Well, if you're in a restaurant, you have no expectation of privacy. I can be rude, whether it's ethical, I'm rude or anything else is, you know, different. It's just that I can take a picture. I can do whatever I want. So that's something with cameras in houses that I start usually when I'm talking to realtors to say, no, it's not illegal. I know your client's probably upset because they were filmed and didn't give consent, but there's nothing they can do about it. And it happens quite a bit, you know, and I know agents that purposely do it. And they'll go ahead and say, yeah, sure, go show my house. And then after the house, you know, the showing, they'll log in to the client's cameras and they'll view everything the person said. You know, I got to be honest. Yes, my son did. This was years ago. And it helped because the first person that went in, he happened to say, oh, my cameras were on. He looked and they talked about how the paint really needed redone. So that weekend, we painted the interior of the house. Sold. You know, so it was something that was, well, that was good feedback. They never told us that. So, you know, it does, in some agents' eyes, end up being a good thing. That depends which hat you have on, what I always say. And whenever I look at anything dealing with real estate, with contracts or anything, I always say, you have to look at the hat you have on. Do you have the buyer's hat on? Or do you have the seller's hat on? If I have my seller's hat on, I'm going to view cameras and taping very differently. I'm going to view them as maybe it's not so bad. I can listen to what people say. I can actually, it's happened with cameras where they've caught people stealing from the house. Things have went missing and they were able to say, oh, really? Your people that you took in stole stuff from me. No, they did not. Here's the video of them getting in my drawers and taking stuff. Now, I wish I would have had a camera for my son's apartment. It was over in California. He's an actor. And we told him no one's allowed to show the place because they were selling the apartment that he was renting, the apartment building. And somebody went through and rifled through all his drawers. He knew it because things were totally displaced when he got back. And of course, the agent said, no, it never happened. We don't know if anything was taken, but they rifled through all his drawers and everything. And I'd like to went back at him for that. So there are two good things with sellers. Text them. So if I'm a listing agent, I'm not against them as much. Now, buyer's agent, you must be aware of that. You are at a distinct disadvantage when you take your buyers into a house that has cameras that are recording. If your buyers, oh, get all excited, look at this, oh my God, it's great. Or they comment about the house and how much, oh, they really want to buy the house. Because you must assume that the buyer is, or the seller is always listening to that. Because if I had somebody come in my house and they said, oh my God, I have to have this, you know, the husband or wife saying that we are buying this, honey, I don't care what the cost, let's go ahead and do this. you can bet they're going to pay full price or above, because I know that they want this so bad. It's better than any house they have. So it puts you at a disadvantage. So when I talk to realtors, I tell them, if I was showing clients houses and doing your job, I tell them, look, let's assume every house we go into has cameras. I know you might be upset that you're being filmed, but that's today's society. Do you realize when you go into Macy's, you go into Kohl's, you're being filmed from the time you walk in to the time you walk out? There's cameras throughout the stores. That's been there forever. And when I was in high school in 1982, working at Gold Circle, we had cameras that we would watch. So you always assume that, that you're on film. So don't be offended that you're going to a house that doesn't. Just remember, when we're in there, let's talk just questions, show no emotion. If you really like the house, don't like the house, let's talk about it outside. Unless you hate the house, then you're not going to buy it. Let's trash it and just make the people really upset for filming us. I like doing stuff. But you go ahead and keep your mouth shut. Sorry, blunt, because you don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage when you're negotiating. If your client goes out and they're like, okay, fine, and then you finally call, get outside and they're going, oh my God, this is great. Wait till you get away from the residence, because even my house, I have cameras right out front. I'm taping everything that goes on in front of my house, so don't get excited there. Wait till you get out farther. Then I know I can call them and say, they're really thinking about putting an offer. What do you think? And talk to the other agent, put in a lower offer than I maybe want to and get countered, because I'm not going to be at that disadvantage. So you have to look at both sides. I look at, and part of the discussion that I know is going on with NAR right now is they're caught between, the ethics side of it. They're saying, is it ethical or moral to do that? To me, I always look at it and say, we have two different things, ethics and moral. Ethics are code of conduct, what we follow. From an ethics standpoint, it's legal. The law says you can do it. It's 100% legal. So yes, I believe it's ethical. Morally, I'm not going to make your decision. Because morally, you say, I just feel icky watching somebody. I feel like they should have privacy when they're looking at my house to buy it and everything. That's good. If that's your morals, tell your seller, shut their cameras off. Well, let them make that moral decision for themselves, not you. If you say, I want to use this to our advantage, you know what? You're not doing anything unethical. And morally, that's your choice. I'm not going to impose my morals on anybody. I don't have a right to that. So you have to look at it that way. And that's where the struggle is coming more, I think, with our association and everything, is they don't know really what to do with it. Because to tell you guys not to do it, or your clients to do it, I think they're very much overstepping their authority. Your clients have a right to do it. Your client says, I am doing this, and you say, I morally can't do that. What is your choice? What would your choice be, somebody out there? Somebody answer. Unmute yourself so we can do something. Does the seller have to disclose? Well, your choice, I'll say first before I answer that, your choice is you don't list the house if you feel morally you can't do it. Does the seller have to disclose? My view from a legal standpoint, we don't have a ruling that I know of anything that the association has officially put out, but I might be wrong. But from a legal standpoint, I don't have to tell you jack. Because again, it's my house. My cameras in my house, everybody knows I have them because you can see them. I don't try to hide them. My sons, you won't know where they are because he has them nicely situated, and so that, he always says, I don't want the burglar to come in and knock it off. And I'm going, well, I already got him on tape when he came in. Why do I care? What do you want to do? Watch him the whole time he's ripping you off? I don't care. So, but he has a right to do it. I have a right to do what I do. So from a legal standpoint, you really don't have to. Sometimes the buyer agent, you don't even notice cameras. Yes, that is exactly right. You don't notice them. However, that is exactly why I say you have to assume they're in every house. And why I would make sure that I tell my buyers before we got in, assume you're being filmed. Assume they're taping this for your disadvantage, that they're going to look at it, that they're going to see what you like and dislike. It's the best thing you can do. You know, I tell people that all the time, you know, assume you're on tape. You know, when you send a post, I like one of my friends, good litigator, and he's always said, never send something in an email that you don't want to be testifying to on a stand. And I go, good thing, yeah, because assume everything you have is going to be in a court case one day. And that's why you go, okay, I don't want to email that. It's the same thing with cameras. It's like looking a new home models. Yeah, good, it is. All new homes. I'll tell you what, that's fun with new homes because I do know, like our builder and everything, there's cameras all through it. We just bought a house a year ago and they have them all in it. And you think of the way a lot of these ones that we're doing it, the open doors and stuff that have, you know, oh, just go up, we'll send you a code, you go in. Why? Because we're watching you. We're seeing what you're doing. So it's just something we have to live with every day. And more people, cameras are so common now. I don't know the percentages, but I would have to assume it's way over half of people have cameras anymore, as many as I see. And everybody I know has cameras in either in their house and outside, or at least a couple on the outside to get people when they're breaking in. You know I have cameras up here in our cabin in Pine. I have them at my house. My other one that I have is a VRBO in Costa Rica, and I really just haven't crossed that line. I'm not sorry. That you're renting, you do, you know, that would be a different point. If you have a rental unit, you can't put cameras inside. And you can't put cameras outside facing inside windows. You know, but I know a lot of people with VRBOs that have started putting cameras on the outsides of the house because they've heard, you know, there's parties being thrown and stuff, and they want to be able to see who's came to the house and everything else if they get complaints, so that they can disprove or prove it and find the people. Questions. As you said, Kurt said there are some questions. You can always unmute yourself and have questions too. If you have trouble, shoot Kurt a message and he'll make sure you're on.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You can't see me, but you can hear me.
Yes, we hear you.
So I'm hearing a lot about in the MLS, on MLS, does that need to be disclosed in the realtor remarks about seller has cameras? I mean, I'm with you. I think you need to just assume it, but I'm hearing a lot of talk about that. Do you have any?
I have not, and if somebody out there has seen it, I have not saw an edict where our armless said that that must be disclosed. I have a feeling that it's going to be a very touchy call, because you might get some attorney out there that has a real drive for First Amendment issues and stuff, that actually litigates, unlike me. But I have a big problem with all that stuff when you limit speech or you limit my rights. That might say, well, wait a minute, I don't have to disclose, because no store has to disclose, nobody has to, cops don't have to disclose it, nobody has to disclose, because you have no expectation of privacy. Therefore, you're breaching my rights to do that. And then they sue Armless and everything else over that disclosure requirement, because I can see that happen.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why I say I haven't saw it. If they do, I'm going to sit back with some popcorn and wait for somebody to sue them just to see what happens. So, I mean, we're already still in our lawsuit now. It's going to go on for years, so we'll see how those go. They don't want any more.
I have a question, Mike.
Yeah.
I had a listing Monday. Anyway, it got broken into, and they took the microwave, the dishwasher, and the stove. And the seller has footage from neighboring video, camera. What rights does he have, and can he use that, and what can he do?
Absolutely. He can if you catch, and neighbors are the best place to start. If your house, if you don't have cameras and everything, even if you do, and your house gets broken into, vandalized or anything, ask your neighbors. You're going to be surprised, because that's what police do too. They should. But anymore, a lot of times property crimes, unfortunately, the police come over and go, oh yeah, you took it. Okay, here's your police report. Goodbye. They're not going to try to solve it. You can post those videos on Facebook, say, help me catch this guy. You can do whatever you want with it, because that person has no expectation of privacy. That's what I can do. I mean, the only thing that you can't do with videos that sometimes, which gets a gray area, is where you're using some videos of very, very famous people to advertise your product, and then you try to say, well, I took that picture while they were sitting in a restaurant. Well, you can put the picture out there and say, look who I caught, but you can't put, CEO, this guy is eating my spaghetti sauce. He loves it. That's commercial activity. But you can put it out on Facebook, do whatever you want, especially if he's not wearing anything. Humiliate the hell out of him. Does anybody know this? Please share this. And then you'll find out, there's been times even here in the Valley where, I've known people and they've said, yeah, a bike was stolen or something. And they ended up finding the guy because they put it on Facebook, and people came up and said, it's this guy. And they went over to the house and retrieved their property. So you can do it nice or not so nice. It doesn't really matter at that point. Other questions? It was going still too early. I don't know.
Well, that's funny. I'll share this because I've talked about this with a few agents since we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago.
Mhm.
And a lot of agents say they take their clients outside to talk to them about what they saw in the home. But when you're talking about outdoor cameras, some of these are pretty sophisticated. They can pick up a lot of sound from a lot of places. So be cognizant
Oh yeah.
of
Oh, yeah,
where you're talking and how loud you're talking, I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah,
If
maybe
you
get
go,
your car. I don't even know, get
Yeah.
away from the house.
I guarantee you, if you go out in our foyer where we have outside, it's like a little patio that has the front entrances on it. Or if you go out in my back patio, go ahead, talk out there all you want. I guarantee my cameras.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Some of these systems are super sophisticated. I mean, I've got cameras up north, but I can
Mhm.
listen up there. You want to talk?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yep. That's right.
I have an experience from the buyer's side.
Yes.
We went to a house that had a Ring camera, and when I went to the lockbox, as my clients are standing outside, there was no key in the lockbox. But by the time I got to the front door, they had unlocked the door from their
Yep.
phone. And so from there on in, my clients were completely freaked out because there were cameras everywhere.
Yep.
It was the most uncomfortable showing I've ever done.
Yeah. That's a risk maybe that some selling, the listing agent should consider. How will it affect your buyer's mentality? Are they offended by it? People get offended by everything today. It's crazy, but that could be offensive to say, why are you watching me? You don't trust me. So you can think about that. And that's why I say I'd be telling, trust me, every house we went into probably has video. Especially when you get up to higher price ranges. So the higher the price range, the more likely it is to have cameras. I bet you there's nobody that has over $1 million house that doesn't have some cameras, or very few. Very few, not all. Yay. You could go in there, make it interesting, do all sorts of swearing and stuff like that. Pull your gun out that you carry and say, I should shoot that TV over there, and watch them freak out and everything. They say, oh God, yeah.
Get that guy out of my house.
Yeah, get him out of my house. Where can we light the fire?
Have the police show up before you leave.
I know. Could you imagine you go in the nursery and say, they have a baby. Honey, they have a baby. Do you think I can come back tonight and take them? And just watch their heads explode.
I think it was just freaking them out because it was like they were watching in real time, because
Oh, yeah.
to actually pop the door open like that. It was
Mhm.
like, okay, as we're walking, they're watching us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we use August for that. It's an August lock system. We have the same thing. We can unlock it for anybody wherever we're at in the world. And we have to see them through our camera and we go, hey, there you are. They just text us. Yeah, it would make you go, oh my gosh, here we are. All right. Anybody else have anything before we pass it back over and let Kurt do anything? Nope. Kurt, go ahead. Wrap us up or do what your magic is, Kurt.
All right. All right. Well, it's super fascinating. I thought there'd be a little bit more dialogue, but yeah, it's one of those things. I'd always kind of thought there wouldn't be, too much harm in volunteering that up front. In fact, there might be a benefit. People P's and Q's to just kind of either have something posted when they come in the house, or I think, what was it? Rebecca said, just have it in the MLS comments. But yeah, interesting topic for sure. I appreciate you being here, Mike. Really cool. That's all we got, folks. We ran a little bit over, but we kind of figured we would today. It was a great topic to sit and discuss and learn the pros and the cons. Be interesting to see if NAR does come out with something.
Yeah.
I think they'd be greatly overstepping their bounds if they did. I think
I'm fearful of that.
It'd be interesting, like you say, to sit and watch and see where that goes. Well, if nobody's got any other questions for Mike, for Emma, for Shane, myself, or anybody else that's here, we can go ahead and wrap it up. You guys.
Oh, Paulette has something.
Paulette?
I have a question for Shane. On your reports that you put in the zip code, you had mentioned here in the Valley. Can you do that anywhere in the United States? Put in a zip code anywhere?
Actually, you can. We can get reports. I had a guy once that was subscribing to reports in Florida, and I'm like, well, that's, we just can't help him in Florida if he's got a transaction. That's the only thing. I'm like, okay. But yeah, you can. So if you've got people that are looking somewhere, you can subscribe to the reports really anywhere in the United States when it comes.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm that, but that's what I thought. Thank you.
Absolutely. And if anybody wants or needs Mike's information, I'd be more than happy to share it with you. Mike is our vice president and corporate counsel here at Greystone Title. So yeah, thank you all for coming. And we're not on next week for Black Friday because we're going to be up early shopping. Online.
Yeah.
Without masks.
Have a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, without masks. We're up here in Pine, no mask.
That's awesome.
Vast majority of places. Yep. Yeah.
I love it. Thanks, everyone.
How warm is it up there, Mike?
60s today. Be in the 60s.
Yeah, that's
70, Mike. Kim said might be up to 70 even. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot. At night is in the low 50s, so it's great.
I don't know how you're gonna make it through.
It's gonna be terrible.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.